Hari Om. And next mantra here is mantra 28. Jiva and Ida and Pingala. Now we're looking for several mantras about Jiva. Jiva, this individual soul consciousness we talked about in the previous mantra. So Prana, Apana, Vashach, Jiva, Yadhachordhavam, Chadvahvati, Vama Dakshina, Margabhyam, Chanchalatvana Derishyati. And translation is influenced by Prana and Apana, the individual soul ascends and descends. It also moves through the left and the right passages, but cannot be perceived because of its rapid movement. We talked about this so many times, and especially in Pranayama series about the Pingala differences. So we talked about the nadis. Commentary. The movement of Prana and Apana, inhalation and exhalation, as well as the flow of the left and right passages, influence the individual soul. In yoga, the left and right passages are Ida and Pingala, nadis respectively. So your left and right passage, Ida and Pingala. These are the two major energy channels within each individual, which further contribute to the duality in human nature. Ida is the lunar channel, which represents the mental aspect of our nature, and Pingala is the solar channel, which represents the physical or vital aspect. Together, they rule all of the physical and mental actions and interactions. And you would think if we creating the body like that, why we shouldn't create it just straight away like Sushumna, everything balanced and just stay in peace. But there will be no progress for Jiva or soul in this world if it was already in a state it doesn't need anything. So you do need to have some urge to improve yourself. So if it's ideal universal world, like some goddess world, there'll be no need to improve. But there will be no need to do like not such a good actions, but only by surpassing this urge we can grow. So that's very fundamental understanding of all the religions, being philosophies in the world. Why there's a duality, why there's a different people, why there's such a diversity. Yeah, and there's a very important understanding that if you cannot experience something, blessing or love, if you're not separated from it. Yeah, so as the creation of the whole universe and this world and us as a result, it is the action of to create something to be loved or to be compassionate about, because universal, whatever self-conscious God, Brahma, whatever you can call it, you can call it anything you want in your religion or your understanding, it did created this duality to experience itself and love it, yeah, to admire. Otherwise, you cannot observe it, yeah, if you are within yourselves. So that's why we have this separation into two originally. It does say between the lines here that you cannot experience cold without knowing what is hot. So, in a simple sense. Here it talks about Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna again, and it kind of sounds like maybe repetition. But this type of Upanishads could be written, like separately. You just open one Upanishad and read. So it doesn't apply that you just read it 10 minutes ago, the other Upanishad, so other mantra. So it could be some repetition, but it's always an aspect for specific mantra. And the mantra also states that the movement of Jiva through the left and right passages cannot be seen because of its rapidity, how fast it is. Yep. The movement of Jiva through Ida and Pingala is in the form of prana, which has no material existence as such. The word prana means energy or vibration in constant movement. The movement of this subtle vibration or force is very rapid and therefore cannot be perceived by the naked eye. It is said that prana moves with the speed of light and is perceived as luminosity by yogis who have developed the inner vision. However, the breath influences the movement of prana through these channels, specifically these two channels, and the breath can be manipulated and controlled. So although it says here directly that this the prana movement could be instantly as a speed of light, in our perception you can actually develop this, and to observe it we kind of need to maybe slow it down, yeah. But sometimes we can feel that it's happened shift, but we didn't specifically feel that it's this actual process of prana movement or changing, but you can feel the shift straight away. Yeah? A very nice deep explanation of these concepts, which many people are not aware of. Even some people practice yoga and not really aware of. That's why it's always nice to come back to the scriptures and read the ancient texts. The physical termination point of Ida Nadi is said to be at the left nostril and Pingala Nadi at the right. Normally the breath is an autonomic process which flows without conscious regulation. The breath flows naturally in cycles of 60 to 90 minutes through one nostril and then the other throughout the day and night. It's constantly shifting, and it's from hour to hour and a half you can shift, but it also depends on your activities, what you're listening, what you're doing these days. There's so much information bombarding our existence that it might cause these disturbances. When the breath flows predominantly through Ida, the left nostril, then the passive mental force manifests, so the nature becomes quiet and subdued. When the flow changes to Pingala, the right nostril, then the active vital force manifests, so the nature becomes dynamic and restless. By the manipulation of breath through the alternative nostrils, the pranas are balanced and controlled. Then the Jiva or individual consciousness can be perceived. And it's so important in some, especially like Kriya Yoga or some deeper meditation, you go into Nadi Shodhana. It could be Nadi Shodhana or Viloma. This practice is very important. So you kind of, before you even go to meditation, you just balance your Ida Pingala straight away, get into your awareness of Sushumna, quiet your mind, and you feel much more progress in your meditation there. So I do always, when I teach deeper meditation, so you notice we do a lot of something like that. Balance it out. But it also will depend on, what is your state. So if you have a good yoga practice before, you don't need to even practice a lot. Your breathing could come very straightforward, yeah? It will depend on the time of the day, your activities, state of mind, who you talked to before. So all this energy is important. And that's why people tend to go to retreats or ashrams, to retreat from the world, maybe no connection with the cell phone and internet, and having the practices in a quiet mind. And you feel it if you go to remote areas when you cannot connect to your phone, to your everything that's on the phone these days. You cannot connect, to outside world. You on a day one might feel uncomfortable, maybe because our mind can get nervous and stressed because it's ripped from the familiar environment. But at day 2, 3, you start feeling this prevailing calmness and quietness, and you will observe, your senses will be open up like a flowers. You will observe something you didn't observe for years. And that's why people feel so rejuvenated already after 2, 3 days of the retreats. It's a matter, it's important to what you do in the retreats, but it could be something physical in the retreat, or you're doing meditation or upasana. And you start hearing how much noise you have actually in your mind. All the melodies you heard stuck in your mind through your whole life. Can you imagine how many there are songs imposed on us? They will start coming out through you, and then you will hear it in the middle of the quiet night. You will hear the voices or energies or memories will start coming out. So all this stuff will coming out, but only when you surpass this, let it go. And we do yoga nidras, a lot of practices to actually help to push through this energy, release all these samskaras. You will come to this quiet, prevailing stillness, and that's when your jiva start showing yourself. Like I said before, with the onion, you're peeling off the skin by skin by skin to get into the middle, into the true self. I hope it's happening for you. Hari Om.